identified with their artwork. So we decided to give you the possibility to choose something with which you feel identified to reflect that in the artwork of this episode. What did you choose and why? I am a huge fan of one-line illustrations. So when the artwork was presented to us, and it was, I guess, hand-drawn digitally, I loved it, and it was obvious that we needed to have it as our artwork.
Yeah, our whole world is, her world is piano, mine is drums. So I think the whole theme of the artwork was to have what we love on there.
What represented the both of us.
Yeah, and that was a perfect combo. Okay.
From when did you know that music would be in every day of your life when you were young? Did you imagine working and doing music, or did you have other plans for the future? I started playing the piano and learning the piano at 13 months old, which was super young, before I could walk and talk. So for me, I think I didn't even know what it was, and it just became part of my life. And then I just truly loved it, fell in love with it, and I can't imagine doing anything else but music.
Yeah, I was playing drums since I was very young, in all the school bands. I was hoping to do music as a career, and I am now, which is great. Yeah, so very happy. The next question. What kind of music did you listen to when you were a child? I was brought up listening to a lot of Motown. That's what my dad would play around the house. And when I was a bit older, my sister got me into pop music. Then I didn't really listen to anything I liked of my own choice until I was a teenager, and that was punk rock. I was in a punk rock band playing drums, and yeah, just whatever's on the radio, pop music, and then into electronic music when I was a bit older.
Yeah, I had classical music. That was all that was playing in the house because both my parents are classical musicians. And then basically what was on the radio when I was like being driven to school, and then through high school was basically what was on the radio. And then when I started traveling by myself after school, then my horizons were broadened. Do you have some artists as reference in which you have identified when you started to listen to electronic music? I think we would say specifically to this genre and this style of electronic music, for me personally, it would definitely have to be Sébastien Léger, which really completely like enveloped me into the genre and then introduced me to everybody else in the style.
Yeah, definitely Seb for our music style in the early days, and anything on All Day I Dream. That was the first, that was the label we heard, and we're like, it's a perfect blend of orchestral sounds with house music, and it's kind of where we wanted to be, and we ended up getting signed with those guys, so it was
worked
good.
out.
Yeah. Where were you born? What are your origins? I was actually born in England, and then moved to Australia when I was about 5 years old. And then,
so I'm actually more Aussie than he is, because I was born...
She's true blue Aussie.
I'm true blue Aussie. I was born here in Australia, in Sydney, but of Vietnamese heritage. Where are you living currently? Well, we are living in Sydney, in the Northern Beaches. But usually at this point in time of the year, I would be back at my LA home, but COVID happened. Same for Mark.
Yeah. We live together. So. How and when did you meet each other? How was Double Touch born? What made you think that together could be better?
You can answer this.
So we met in the music studio.
Ironic, not really.
Just piano sessions, and I was producing, and then we just started writing music together. Double Touch wasn't really formed for a few years after that.
Maybe a year.
Yeah.
Maybe a year, because we were just writing music that we loved, like the style of music that we loved, and it was purely just for writing. We didn't think about releasing it. We didn't think about the possibility of even doing gigs with it. It was just writing, right?
Yeah, and then so, yeah, together, it's she brings to the table what I'm not very good at. We both have strengths and weaknesses, and
I can't make a beat to save my life. So.
And I can't play piano. So, it's a good combination. Like we work together, and
I always say Mark has really good ears. It's really important to have that. I think
beautiful.
No, I think, you know, sometimes coming from the classical world, everything's so embellished and so intricate and complicated, and it really doesn't have to be like that, and it can't be like that with this style of music. So it's, you know, having Mark there, he'll listen to it, he'll strip bits out, and then I think that's why it works really well, having the both of us.
Yeah.
What are the roles of each when you are producing? Well, I usually take care of the piano and the strings and anything melodic, I guess, instrumental wise, and then Mark writes all the beats and produces and stitches it all together.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. How it starts, I would say, would be with Mark first, though, because I find it always a little hard not to have a beat to put instrumental on top.
But sometimes we have done, I'll say, can you do like an 8-bar progression at 120 BPM?
Yeah.
She does it with a click and then sends me the project file.
Yes.
And then I'll start
and
adding
actually,
more stuff.
Yeah, that has happened a lot because we're not always together in the same space, and we're not always in the studio together. So luckily with technology, you know, if I'm in LA and he's here, then I can just send the files across, and then that happens like that. Yeah. Where is creativity?
Where is creativity and ideas come from when you make music? Yeah. So at this time, it's very hard because we can't. A lot of the inspiration comes from seeing live music. Usually, we go to a lot of concerts, all different genres, anything from Cuban bands to electronic music festivals to orchestras. Yeah.
Yeah, but having said that, I think we've had so much like banked up inspiration that the lockdown gave us the time to write and to explore all those ideas. You know, some worked, some didn't. But yeah, I think the inspiration comes from for me, maybe, you know, if I'm listening to classical music, like we'll find a riff that we think, oh, that could really work at in a different key. You know, change the BPM, but I mean, it comes from all sorts, right? What did you feel when you played in such an amazing place and event as it is Circle? I will always remember the Circle event because it was January 26th, and that for us as Australians is Australia Day, and so to be in Bali, first of all, it was magical to be at Omnia over that cliff edge. I mean, spectacular weather. It couldn't have been more perfect. The next day it actually poured down with rain at the same time as the set. So, I mean, everything was perfect that day. To watch Lee's set as well was just, I don't know. It was just a perfect day.
Yeah, it was just, it's magical. Like, we've seen the videos before playing there, and it was just an amazing experience to actually be there. And yeah, and afterwards seeing Lee play, we were, you know, right in the crowd watching Lee, and we've watched that video a few times in the lockdowns, and we really miss being outside.
Yeah, I think we appreciate it even more now. I mean, being there, maybe I was stressed out and thinking about all sorts of things, but even now, like having that taken away from you, we just appreciate that environment so much more. And it was probably our last double touch gig before lockdowns.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so it's pretty imprinted in our brains.
I mean, what represents All Day I Dream for you? I think it's sunshine, daytime parties, good times, happiness. Everyone's always got a smile at the events. So
Really
yeah.
colourful, lots of lanterns. And it just really happy, like great energy, great vibes, happy souls.
And dreamy.
Yeah.
In the clouds, I guess.
So much dreamy. Where would you like to play in your next show? We'd love to be able to play.
Yeah, anywhere
Live.
outside the apartment would be awesome.
Yeah, ideally in sunshine. I guess we were meant to go to Europe and play as Double Touch for the first time in Europe this year. So that is a little disappointing. So I'd love to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, just playing around the world. That's what we want. What is the best wish for Double Touch? Yeah, pretty much just that last answer. Being outside, doing gigs again, in the future, like traveling the world, playing our original music.
I'd love to be able to bring a grand piano to every stage. It's a bit selfish, but I think what it is for us is like, you know, DJing is one thing, but because we are both instrumentalists, we love bringing that to every gig that we do. So being able to bring all of our equipment and our tools and be able to create that energy, not just from the electronic music, but putting the live in as well, is just, it's super exciting to be on stage doing it.
Yeah, doing a full orchestra gig would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's like probably
like a French horn.
Yeah.
Cellos. Yeah. When you started researching in this music world, did you see yourself where you are today? I guess this question alludes to our earlier answer, which is that we've started writing music in this style purely because we enjoyed writing it, right?
Yeah. And
it's pretty surreal. It's to think about it now, it's still very surreal. Like we're still very young in this whole group of artists. I find, you know, we're new to the table. I would never in a million years would have thought that we would have played Circle.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We thought Double Touch would just be something we did in the studio, maybe put on SoundCloud, but it just, and All Day I Dream was our dream label, and I actually just messaged Lee on Facebook and sent him demos for our Adagio EP, and I didn't even think he would write back, and he just said, yeah, I want all 4 of them. So that was that's kind of when we thought, maybe we can take it seriously.
Maybe it's possible. Yeah, maybe it's possible. And I think for me, having literally cemented my career in classical music, but yet having this love for this style of music and many other genres of music as well, I just didn't think that it would be possible to do all of this live. And then when we did, it just opened a whole new world.
What do you feel you can contribute to electronic music?
Ooh.
Well, we'd like to combine classical music with house music and bring more instruments in.
Yeah, I think the hybrid is something that we always aim to have.
Yeah, every one of our songs has an organic instrument, like piano, cello, violin, or less, orchestral sounds. Instead of just all synths, it's always got something live.
Yeah, we'll record them live for sure.
What was the question?
What do you feel you can contribute to electronic music? I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully something.
Good vibes, maybe.
Yeah. Good times. Well, we just hope that I think the music that we write, oh, I don't know. It's a really tough question.
I think we covered it.
Yeah. Maybe more music for people to dance to. I don't know. We want to know about your next projects. What do you have in mind? Well, we have been busy during lockdowns, writing a lot of music, fine-tuning a lot of music, and renaming a lot of songs because I don't even know what half the songs are these days, because when we start writing music, we just give it some random name, and then when it comes to naming it, I'm like,
and we can't find the project file, and
no.
the song goes missing.
And then Mark renames it, and then he's like, what do you think of the Sundance song? I'm like, I don't even know what that song is. But you can you please tell everyone about our schedule?
Okay, yeah, so
I don't even know.
Since the lockdown, we've been very productive and written a lot of music, which is good. We've got EP on Magician on Duty coming. Then it will be a song on the All Day Dreams Summer Sampler. We have an EP on Souk Sonic with Evan Fortuna remix and Flowers on Monday remix, which is...
Woo!
Actually, sorry, that's the Magician on Duty EP. And then a Tribes of EP. And then a few other little things here
in
and
the
there.
works.
Yeah, so...
That we can't announce just yet.
But that's what we've got locked in. Plenty of music coming this year.